Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me. I know I haven't been posting consistently, but you guys will see why. I've been just very busy with a lot of things in life, but I had to come back on here for another video. A subject that has been really bothering me and it's been on my mind. As a lot of you guys know, I follow a lot of these high value pages and YouTubes, and mostly what I will be discussing is what I follow on Facebook. So it is a Facebook group that's called Leveling Up and Becoming a High Value Goddess, and it's made by simply Shanika. I follow her on a couple of platforms. I really like some of the things that she posts, but obviously I can't post on that page anymore because I got in trouble. And I'm gonna tell you guys why. It was just a lot that I've been seeing and deeply disturbed by, that a lot of women are being, you know, misguided in a way, because a lot of them think that they get on these platforms and they want to level up. They're tired of dealing with men, playing with them, treating them not as their worth, and doing the bare minimum, which is why I joined certain platforms like that too. But I feel like these, and not just trying to simply focus on Shanika. Sorry if I get her name wrong. I'm not trying to solely focus on her page at all, by no means. Like, I still support her, I still follow her, but I think the platform within itself has turned into something so different, and a lot of women on there have expressed how this platform have turned into something so different. It used to be very positive and it used to be very uplifting and give really good advice, and now it's just full of women who are probably very scorned. A lot of women who resent men, hate men in a way, a lot of hurt women, and I'll go into that further. But this discussion of topic is a coffee date low value? Is a coffee date low effort? Is a coffee date something of what a Dusty would offer you? And I've watched a lot of these platforms with the red pill community offering to take women on a coffee date as a first date, to vet them, to see if they're worthy enough to go on a date. And I think that it's like, right now there's like the pink pill and the red pill, and all of it is just kind of like needs to shut down at this point, because it's putting women against men and it's putting men against women, and everybody's playing this game, and nobody's really, and people are still out here struggling to date, finding love, men and women, and finding genuine relationships that they actually enjoy being in. So I'm going to kind of discuss, I'm going to address, like, is a coffee date low budget? And where women are so they have such lack of creativity, they think dinner dates are effort and high value and all this other stuff. Like, so I'm gonna do a breakdown of that. So let's get into it. So the question at hand is a coffee date a low value date? I think it's been misused. I think that a lot of women have watched these red pill communities, and they have talked about, you know, going on a coffee date and how coffee dates are, you know, vetting a woman to see if she's worthy. And I think that now women look at that and goes, oh no, I would never go on a coffee date because I feel like he's doing this. Just like some men are like, okay, well, I saw this on a page and you're doing this to me, right? I think it just all depends on creativity. You know, I think that it just depends. Like, how old are you? If you are 18 years old, if you are 22 years old, and you're dating a guy who's in college, and most college students, to be honest, are broke. So if you are dating a guy who's in college and he's 22, 21, 20 years old, don't expect him to take you to a 5-star restaurant right off back. You guys both are not in that level at all. Financially, most people at that age are not finding people who's going to take them at a 5-star restaurant. Now, if you're 22 years old, 20 years old, and you're a woman who wants to be taken out like that, go date a man that's older, because you're not going to get that from a lot of these young guys, because they just don't financially have the capacity to do so, and they don't have the financial capacity to just take a woman they just met on a fancy dinner date. They feel like they work really hard for their money, as do a lot of men, and they don't really have the funds to really just spend on every woman they meet and take them out to a nice date. Because in reality, you're not the only one that he's dating, okay? That is a hard pill to swallow, ladies. Like, you're not the only one that he's asking out on a date. He's not gonna sit here. I know you think you're all that in a bag of chips, but okay, cool. You could be all that in a bag of chips. But there are other bag of chips that's all that as well. You're not the only one. So you just being a woman does not mean that you deserve a 5-star restaurant right off the back, like from a 22-year-old man, okay? Like, he obviously has to be smart with his money. He has bills. He has books to pay for. He has his school to pay for and his classes to pay for. He's not going to just up and take someone he just met on a 5-star restaurant. If he has money like that, then approach it very differently, and his visions are very differently. Am I saying go on a date to Applebee's? No, I'm not saying that he has to go on a date to Applebee's, but there are ways that you can be creative with a date. So if he's asking you to go to Starbucks, you can easily decline and say, I think that I want something a little bit more creative and a little bit more effort. Starbucks is something that you go to go sit down and study. If you guys are not going to sit down and study, or if you guys are not friends, then I don't see no reason to go to Starbucks. But if he's like, hey, I know this really cool coffee shop that's an actual really cool coffee shop. Like, I don't know what kind of coffee shops you ladies go to, but I know a coffee shop that has chandeliers hanging from the roof, marble floors, fancy tables, and serve high-end, high-class coffee. I would not mind if a man had asked me to go to a very unique coffee shop. That adds creativity to it, and it also gives us a chance to kind of talk and get to know each other. Preferably, I would like something creative. It does not always mean money, you know? Now, if you're looking for money, like, I feel like a lot of these platforms are mixing up money and women who are looking for a man to take care of them. It's like they're now entering into these high value, high goddess type of platforms, and it's misconstrued with what a high value woman is, because a high value woman is not a woman who's searching out for money and to look for a man to buy her a bag within the first month of knowing her, or offering to pay her rent. If you're looking for that, that does not mean that that is high value. There's plenty of women out there who are not that high value, who are sugar babies. If you are looking for a sugar daddy, just say you are looking for a sugar daddy. Don't slap high value on top of that and say, oh, because I'm high value, I demand a man to pay my rent. I demand a man who I just met to pay my rent and do this and do this and do this and do this. This is where you guys are confusing this. So what is a low effort date? I think that a low effort date, a date with a dusty, is someone who don't put any type of creativity within the date. Now, or, you know, or look at the ambiance of the restaurant or the place that you guys are going. A lot of people say museums are low effort date because they're free. Maybe this guy wants to take you to a museum that he's very interested into, and then after, you guys can go somewhere to eat. Ladies, you guys are not being creative enough for me. Every time I look around and I see on this page, you're like, oh, I want food, I want dinner, I want food, I want dinner. That's not creative either. Honey, he could be taking you and 6 other women at that same restaurant like it's nothing. Okay, he doesn't think much of it because he's like, oh, women, she's gonna like this, she's gonna like this restaurant, it's whatever. He puts no thought into it. I don't mind picnic dates. I've been on a picnic date before where a guy, you know, we went to a beautiful park at a nice time. He had the blankets, he had the basket, he had wine, he had ordered us food and everything. And it was like, it was creative and it was nice and I enjoyed it. I didn't think that it wasn't low budget, low value or whatever. And a lot of you ladies sit here and say, ew, this guy want to take me to the park. Ask him, what kind of park day are you talking about? Like, is it, you know, are you trying to have a picnic there? Like, I'm not trying to just like walk around the park. I'm not really interested into doing that. But if you have a creative idea or something, because a lot of these men don't know, especially if you're dating a younger man, he does not know. Maybe he's used to dating girls who are just like, doesn't expect any type of creativity or expect him to impress them. Of course, ladies, we want to be impressed, but you cannot just only be impressed by food. Okay, food is not something you could just be impressed by. It literally takes no creativity. Now, if this restaurant was something where he's like, oh my God, I've never been, I always wanted to try out this restaurant, then that's something cool you guys can go to, you know? It's not always about the price, because men who have money, that's nothing to them. Don't feel like you're special because he's taking you to a 5-star restaurant when he easily have the money to do so. He takes himself out on a 5-star restaurant out to eat because he has the money to do so. You know when a man is putting in a lot of creativity and they just want to have fun and enjoy conversation. Me and my boyfriend, let me tell y'all, our first date was literally at a arcade place. Basically, it was like this, and it wasn't like any type of arcade place. It was like they had go-karts, they had laser tag. It was new. It's brand new. They had golf, they had virtual video games. It was like I wanted to go there. Like, I'm that type of girl where I want to go and like kick your butt at some games and have fun. So we went, and he easily spent over $200 on that date. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it was like we enjoyed it, and it wasn't a cheap date. And we enjoyed ourselves going on this date, and we had fun, and he got to see my competitive side, I got to see his competitive side, and we both enjoyed each other's company. And he's like, hey, let's go out to eat, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not really hungry, but we can go here. And then like we went and had our conversation, and then we had other dates, other places, other creative places that wasn't just like the usual. Like, ladies, I just hate seeing over and over and over again that you guys are being so tough and being so like just not being gracious at all when it comes down to dating. You're posting a lot of these screenshots of you and how you talk to guys, and you guys are coming off very aggressive, very defensive, very angry, and thinking that every guy is trying to treat you like trash. Like, when it's further from the truth. A lot of these guys probably are not pushed to that limit to do something creative. You know, a lot of these guys, the screenshots that you post, they seem like they're genuinely trying to get to know you, and you're like, no, I did a block, 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 block. And then you got all these women on here jumping on the platform, telling this one girl, oh my God, you should block him because da 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 da. Like, today, I saw a post. I'm not mentioning any names, so I'm not outing anybody, but it was a post where a guy had a family member that died, okay? Very close family member that died. He simply explained to her what he's going through, and that, you know, he just met the woman. They never went on any dates, but he showed interest, and he's like, hey, like, I need to deal with this. Like, there's a lot going on in my life right now. Just please give me some time. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to cancel on you. I have a lot going on with my family. Understandably so. Hits her up 10 days later and it's like, hey, if you're still interested and still wanted to talk to me and still wanted to further things, I am now available to, you know, focus on pursuing you. I thought I'm someone who's been through death in the family, and I know how that can be, and everybody has death differently. And this guy has been showing up and been consistent before then, and then this happened, or maybe you guys were just now getting to know each other and this happened. See where things go, you know? And she got some good advice from some women. And then there was just another woman who was like, block him, that's unexcusable. 10 days is unexcusable. I don't care if his family died. I don't care if his family died. I'm like, oh my God, are you that scorned where you don't have any empathy for people, and you think that you're so defensive that this man is trying to play you, that you think that he's trying to play you when really his family member could have died? Are there men who use death as an excuse to play you and set you up? Yes, I have definitely been played before, where a guy tried to say that his friend got in a car accident and didn't, and then a few weeks later his friend actually did get in a real car accident, so that was his karma. And it was a very serious accident, so that was his karma. But yeah, like, I don't sit here and put my past on every guy that I encounter, and you gotta stop doing that. If you're gonna go out there and date, you got to come in with a fresh and clean mind, and not solely think that this guy is trying to play you, or you gotta tell him he's a dusty. Like, I just don't like this notion of calling every man a dusty. Now, I have used this word in the past, but I feel like this word is being misused at this point by calling every man a dusty. Like, every man you meet is not a dusty. Sometime that man just doesn't like you, okay? And that's fine too. He doesn't have to like you. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm not gonna be everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. That is fine, and it should be fine with you, because you're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. Everybody's not gonna be your cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, I've had guys who tried to say, what's wrong with going on a Chili's date? What's wrong with going to Applebee's? And I'm like, hey, I need you to put some more creativity into this date. You could take your best friend to Applebee's. Me and my girlfriend go to Applebee's after hours, after we done got through partying and going to a club. I'm not gonna have you take me somewhere where me and my girls go when we're drunk after the club and we just look for some cheap food, okay? That's where you're not gonna take me, okay? How about this? How about this? And if he says no, then drop it. Drop him. You guys can't even agree where you gotta go on a first date. He doesn't see your vision and you don't see his vision. Simple as that. But some of you ladies think that dinner at a five-star fancy restaurant is, oh my God, no, it's not effort. It's just somewhere he can easily think of, and he's probably taken other women there as well. So to wrap it all up, I feel like a lot of you ladies are missing out on really good opportunities with some of these guys because you are listening to these women on some of these platforms. And just be careful, even take in consideration of what I say, you know, just be careful of like what you take from people, because a lot of people, like I said, they're coming from a very hurt place, and you don't know if they're genuinely looking out for you or they are deflecting from their experience onto you. Just like the woman who had no compassion about somebody, family member dying. Also, if you are in a relationship, just be careful of posting your relationship on some of these platforms, because a lot of these girls want to sit here and say block them, block them, block them, block them. That's like literally their favorite word. It's block them, block them, block them, block them. Do we tolerate BS? No, we do not. Do we tolerate dusties? No, we do not. But every guy you meet is not a dusty, and I think you also need to be realistic. If you are young and you are talking to a guy that's in college, a guy that is trying to get his life together, don't expect him to be paying your bills and buying a bag. It was another situation where a girl was with her boyfriend, and it was his first time moving out of his parents' house, and they were gonna have to take on a lot of these bills. And you know, she was like, he wants to pay all the bills, you know, he wants to be a high value man, and putting pressure on this man. And he's like sitting here freaking out, very nervous about everything. And she's like, oh, well, he wants it. And it was like some women on there saying, well, leave him because he sounds like a dusty. He's 22, he's young, he's just now getting on his feet, or I think he was like 20. You know, he's young, he's just now getting on his feet. That's what all of us are trying to do. We're trying to get on our feet. And a lot of these men, they have a lot of pressure on them as well. And you got to take that in consideration, that you got to think about the age of the man. Now, if you're talking to a man who is 45 and up, or 30, mid to late 30s, then you can expect him to be more established, because a lot of us in our 20s are still trying to figure it out. As much as we hate to admit that, we're all still trying to figure ourselves out. We're all still trying to figure out if we are, you know, what we want to do with our lives. A lot of us are changing our careers. A lot of us are just now getting out of school. It's a lot that's going on in your 20s, and also just trying to figure out what you like and what you don't like, and getting through the BS and the people that are playing games and all these other tits and tats. So I say this to say, it's just, again, just be a little mindful when you are being asked out on a date. Even with the girl that was like, oh my God, he tried to ask me on a museum date, and I just told him that I don't deal with dusty men. And I'm like looking at her page, and how can I say this? I think women are beautiful, but she just had no room to talk about a man I'm like, girl, I don't think that you get asked often out on a date. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not trying to say that, you know, because of how she looks, she doesn't deserve the best, but it's just the way she was degrading the guy in the process, and the guy seemed to genuinely like her, and he was asking her like, okay, we're gonna have to go to a museum. How about this? And she's like, no. It's the fact that you even asked me to go to a museum, and I just block. And she like played him so hard, and I felt a little disgusted because I'm like, it's not easy asking a woman out on a date. It's not easy, you know, dating for a man out here. It's not easy for women dating men out here because, you know, a lot of them play games. Like, a guy using the pandemic as an excuse to say, hey, let's Netflix and chill. That's obviously low budget. You know, there's no creativity to it. There's no thought into it. There's no effort into it. That is a low budget date, regardless of the place and the environment. If it doesn't mean anything special to him, if it doesn't have any like, oh, I saw this and I saw this, or, you know, I thought we can go here or whatever, or we can do this. Like, if it's not something that he put a little bit of effort into and creativity to, and something that creates a nice ambiance to it, then you know that it's a low effort date. Just use your decision, your own decision, because just kind of take in consideration about a lot of things and who this guy is and what he's about. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to vent a little bit about that, because I just been seeing like, high value does not mean sugar baby. High value does not mean sugar daddy. High value does not mean him paying your rent, and this man can be married and be paying your rent. That doesn't mean you're high value or he is high value. He just has money. Just because he has money does not make him a high value man. Okay. I feel like like I said, a lot of you women, I just don't want you to get straight away into these platforms to where you're missing out on great opportunities with great guys as well. And you can't even get past the first date because you're so focused on where it is and like him giving you money. If I was a man, I would not just up and just throw my money at some girl because she's a woman. There's a lot of you guys out there, and it's more women out there than men, and there's more women and pick-me-shas out there as well. Just be careful with a lot of these platforms. And again, I'm not targeting simply Shanika. I am just saying the women that are on her. Even she has to go back and forth with some of these women and how they think, because she's like, look, like, all right, like, you know, like she's like, okay, this is a little too much, you know. So just be careful, and be careful with relationship advice, because these women are easily telling you to break up with him. Even when I talk to them, they ask me about relationships. I never just stray and say break up with him. I just try to expand on like what's going on with the situation and how it makes you feel, and what do you see within the future with this, you know. So again, enough of ranting. That was it for me. How do you guys feel about these platforms, and where do you feel that it is taking you? A lot of these femininity, high level, high value platforms are going from here. If you can comment down below and let me know. And if you enjoyed this video and like a lot of my rants, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you are a follower of those platforms, also comment below and let me know how do you feel about the platform, and how it's changed for you. Have you learned a lot? Is it becoming toxic? Is it becoming a war against women and men, you know, currently? So just go ahead and comment below and let me know your thoughts and opinions. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Please subscribe to this channel. And okay, and stay tuned for more videos, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.